Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Good morning to you. We've reached the middle of the week. We have some fog in some cases, maybe less than a mile or about a mile, where you see some areas in Morgan County. I'm looking over toward Oneida, Scott County, and maybe through parts of the Smokies. You'll find some fog perhaps in some areas if you look close enough, but most of us should be okay in the Knoxville area. We have 10 miles visibility. We have had an extension. That means the National Weather Service, in their wisdom, said, hey, you know what? We had this flood watch going till 5 a.m. Wednesday. Let's just keep it going, because the pattern is going to repeat itself. We're going to see some downpours in some cases today, and the verbiage and the wording is still the same. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain. Now, that's on top of what some have picked up over the last 24 hours or more, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches or more. It's been crazy with some of the rain that's been coming down, with high dew points, high humidity, flooding still possible for rivers, creeks, and streams. So if you see a green coating over your county, which is most everybody, I'm looking at the exception of the plateau of Cumberland and Fentress County, but there's clearly a concern for flooding where we have a lot of rain. It's already fallen, so any rain that we get on top of it will only exacerbate the issue. Let's show you what, again, these are estimates, but just over the last 24 hours, you can see some areas around Loudon have had 2, 3, 4 inches, right? Not far from Lenore City, Loudon, and back toward Greenback. There's an area about 2 or 3 inches between Carnes and Rocky Hill. We've had 2 inches or more in parts of Greene County, Hancock County, all the way up into Claiborne County. It's been a mess for some, and this is representative of about a month's worth. I know, granted, in July we averaged about 5 inches, but in a typical month of the year, usually we can get 2 or 3 inches of rain. This is the summer. This is what we get, and there are even areas. I'm looking back toward Cookeville, back towards, say, Sparta. They've had 2 or 3 inches of rain or more. So a lot of rain has occurred in a short period of time. But let's get to the nuts and bolts. What's it doing right now, you might ask? Well, I see some showers around Mountain City. I see a few showers maybe north of Cookeville. But there's not a whole lot to greet you first thing this morning, unless, of course, we fill that in. Maybe as the sweep goes by, maybe we'll see something new. But a few raindrops may magically appear between now and 9 o'clock this morning. Don't be surprised. It's one of those types of patterns. But last night it rained. I heard it. I even saw it. I saw you post a little thing about if you're a light sleeper. We had about 300ths of an inch of rainfall at McGee-Tyson overnight. We had 1100ths of rainfall at Oak Ridge. So most of it, as you can see the coloring, 8 hours ago. You go back 8 hours ago. It was intense. Another round came in, and it fell apart, the intensity of it, and the red fell apart between Clinton and Wartburg. So if you focus on Clinton, Wartburg, some of the red areas started to weaken. Some of those storms began to weaken as they moved into the heart of the valley. So that's what occurred last night. It's not your imagination. By the way, Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by Marco's Pizza. Marcos.com, the best place to go if you're thinking for a quick lunch. Maybe you want some delivery. Our friends at Marco's have locations that are convenient to you, I hope. Hardin Valley, Farragut, and Maryville. They're located in Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Anderson County, as well as Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. Maybe you're hungry for a pepperoni pizza. They're Magnifico, less than $10 for a limited time. Check them out. And also the Pozzoli. I can recommend highly the pepperoni and sausage, the one that's pictured at the top. That is my favorite. It's less than $6 for a limited time. The new Pozzoli from Marco's. Go to marcos.com. By the way, you can see the rain. While it may not be ever present now, there will be more flare-ups today. And it's almost like a slip and slide. Oh, I didn't know you'd use that analogy. Yeah, it's all coming down in this way. It's all coming down from areas south of Cedar Rapids, Des Moines. All this is kind of sliding down into Illinois, eventually down into southern Indiana, central Kentucky, and certainly maybe middle and east Tennessee, as we'll continue to watch this pattern. Our friends in Memphis still under an excessive heat warning till 8 o'clock. That would be the 1st of August, 8 o'clock Central. Our friends in Nashville under a heat advisory, and I think we have a good chance of getting into the upper 80s, if not 90 today. But our flood watch is the only thing of concern. We will be advertising these 2 colors, right? We're going to be very, very hot in the days to come. So be careful what you wish for. Some of you have been wishing for the rain to stop. And guess what? When the rain stops, it gets hot. And then we're right back to the way we started July. And I will show you a recap of that as well. By the way, I'm on the call. I've got some notes. I'm looking at my phone. I got Jessica, Anna watching. Esther Atkins says, good morning, David. It's 69 in Washburn. Thank you, Esther. Appreciate that. Have a great day, she said. And again, appreciate Felicia's watching. Tammy's watching. I got a note here We hit the 89 degrees I expected yesterday, right on the mark. It was both 89 in Oak Ridge and Knoxville. We picked up 0.53 at the airport yesterday, and 300 since midnight. So that brings us to a 24-hour total, or so about 0.56. An interesting note, normal high and low 88, 69. It stays 88, by the way, until the 24th of August. So the average high this time of year, right through the 24th of August, is 88. So it's one of the hotter times of the summer. But again, 99, the record high from 1915, and of course 58, the record low from way back when, 1874. So I just wanted to share that with you as we take a closer look at the radar. Not a whole lot to greet you this morning, but that could easily change in the hours to come. Still some rain across New England. Some downpour severe weather breaking out in southern Iowa, and it's now moving into Illinois. And the heat advisories, the excessive heat in purple, covering much of the south and southeast, so we're keeping an eye on that. If you're traveling, there's still some rain opportunities along the beaches. I want to cover the tropics here coming up in just a few moments. It is 6:46. I'll be done at the top of the hour. As I'm looking at your comments, I'm looking at my phone. I want to say a shout out to Joe and to Zeta and to Amber. They're all watching. Appreciate you watching here in real time. Tracking clouds, radar. We had a little spoke of energy come down last night, but it's pretty much faded away. But there could be a new development here in the coming hours. Temperature right now is 68 degrees. Wow. So many of us are in the upper 60s to start, thanks to some of that rain that came through. It's 69 in Oak Ridge, 68 in Morristown, and our friends in Newport are starting their morning at 67. Dew points are still pretty high. They're in the upper 60s, so it still feels humid. But here, more importantly, is where I think we're going to be going, because today I have us at 90. Some of us may not get out of the upper 80s, and that's okay. But with the showers and storms, much like anything else in this day and age, if you get a heavy rain shower, you might not make it to the 90 that I expect. But again, still some scattered showers. I have a 60% chance of rain today. Our friends in Greenville, I have you at 86. If you're in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, 87. And if you're in Crossville, in the heart of Cumberland County, I expect you'll reach about 88 this afternoon. But here's what's interesting, the McGee-Tyson numbers. Ooh, you like numbers? Look at this, 4.93. That means we're just 0.232. We're just 0.32 shy of reaching a normal month. Now, what's funny is if we get a third of an inch of rain today over the airport, and then we say, hey, it was a normal July. When you look back at the records, you maybe not know that we had such a dry stretch, right? Because it was very dry the first couple of weeks. Then it was crazy rain. We played catch up, and that's what we're doing. We're playing catch up to what has been a very dry month. But the rain that's been excessive in the last couple of days has made it more taxing and more troublesome for outdoor activities. But you go back to May, I have the emoji there because the May 2024 has been and will be remembered as the fourth wettest May on record. 8.5 inches. 8.5 inches of rain. And we're still running, coincidentally, 5.11 inches above normal for the year. Even though we're under deficit, maybe 0.2. We'll make up a little bit of that today. But 0.2 of an inch below normal for the month. We're over 5 inches for the year. So it's all relative because you have to take into all the account. We had a very soggy January. Of course, we had 8.5 inches of snow too. And that's factored in as melted snow with these numbers from McGee-Tyson. Here's what the models would suggest today. This takes us through 5 o'clock. And again, it's pie in the sky. It's just some guidance. But it does suggest some of you get maybe a third. Some might get a half inch. Some may be getting closer to 0.83. It suggests they're in Knoxville. But again, some I think may not get anything at all. It's just one of those situations that summer patterns typically yield. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we add a little bit more. I just don't see much rain tonight. I left a stray shower tonight, maybe a 30% chance for storms tomorrow, and Friday, pretty much few storms. But we'll be keeping an eye on the drier stretch. Once you get to, and once we get to early next week, Monday, Tuesday, no rain. Wednesday, no. We might have a hot stretch. We're in the mid-90s, and we're like, where's the rain? I'm dry. Careful what you wish for, because it goes back and forth. It's like going to the beach and wishing the ocean would either be right in the middle. It's either low tide or high tide. You can't wish that it's always static or stays the same, because it doesn't do that. But this takes us through Sunday at 5. We may have another inch or two on the menu. All right, we're almost to the end of the month, because today is the last day of July. But if you look at these numbers, we haven't been at 90 or higher since the 17th of July. Our hottest day was the 14th at 98. We hit 97 3 times this month. And this is the hottest month we've had all year because we didn't hit that many 90s in June. I think we had 2 weeks. Yeah, we had 2 weeks. But we've had quite a bit earlier this month. 97 is red on the Independence Day time frame because we tied that particular record high from 1993. But we hit 97 on the 13th. We hit 97 on the 15th. But still, at this point, 98 from the 14th is the hottest day of the year. We had a string of 80s now since the middle of the month. Wind speeds at 5 miles an hour, not much wind at this moment. It's 6:51. My goal is to be done here in about 9 minutes or less. I want to say good morning to you. If you've got a comment, let me know. I'll do my best to shout you out. Esther says she's got 69 degrees. Fred says good morning. He's got 70 in Maryville, and he says it's rather wet. No question about that. While it's a lot warmer, Memphis is practically near 80. To start the morning, that's crazy hot, and that's what's contributing to their excessive heat warning. If you don't get much below 80 in the morning, that's really a sign that it's going to get hot, and Memphis is on the certainly a higher side of things today. Dew points are tropical in Memphis, 74, but it's not as bad. It's 67. It's not dry, but it certainly could be worse if we were in the 70s. Feels like temperatures really don't play a role until it gets hotter. Boy, we're going to need that map heading into later this week next. Humidity tracker we go. Look at the dark green colors. That all represents high dew points, high humidity, comfort level low. As far as the sticky, icky weather, the stuffy weather continues through noon on Thursday, 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and so it goes. If you're looking for a break, well, there's always autumn. There may be a little bit of a break in the mountains of western North Carolina. As we head into the weekend, it drops off a little bit there, but still keep in mind the humidity will remain. Clouds may thin out for a little while, but the sun did come up at 6:43, about 3 minutes after I started here, and the sun sets at 8:41. My emoji is crying because either you're tears of joy, because you finally got the rain you hoped for from mid-July, and now it's like, make it stop. Enough already. I think some people have been saying that. Enough already. Some of you are like echoing that sentiment. A high temperature today, I think, will struggle, but could get to 90. We hit 89 yesterday. I mean, you got to grant it to we suddenly. How did we squeeze out an 89 with all that rain? We did. But both Knoxville, Oak Ridge hit 89 yesterday. I think we'll hit 90 today. Clouds, hazy sun with a 60% chance for showers and storms. Well, today's the last day of the month. Can you believe it? August is here. School is coming back soon for some, maybe sooner than others. But 76 at 10 is what I expect. 84 at 2. As I said, a couple of showers may develop here in the next half hour, 30 minutes. It's one of those tropical situations we could see that develop. Look for a high in Morristown, White Pine, 89. Look for a high in La Follette, Caryville, about 88. And if you're in Madisonville, Tellico Plains, also around 89 degrees or so. But look at this. We have a hurricane concern. There's a 60% chance, that's the probability the Hurricane Center has, that something new forms here over the Bahamas. Now, my expectation, based on what I'm seeing in the data, would suggest it's mainly over the Bahamas. But it can cause problems, rip currents, high surf, lifeguard telling you, get out of the water. That's a real fun vacation, right? I've been to those. Where you're at the beach, you spend money, go to the beach, you maybe book a beach cabin rental, and you get down there and you can't, but maybe you can put your feet in the water. They want you out of the water when you have when you've got a tropical storm off the coast of any beach. And this is something that could lend to that expectation. So early next week, while we're dry as a bone, our friends at the beaches may be soggy as can be. That's the way things are shaping up. And if I can get you that mindset, be thinking that that's typical. Because August 1st, historically, there's usually a big uptick there in yellow. August 1st, and it's funny because Debbie could form right around August 1st. That's tomorrow. And if that's true, this is what history has taught us a lesson, that usually late August, early September, while ragweed may be on fire, typically the hurricane season also gets on fire as far as active storms. Debbie is next on the list, followed by Ernesto, Francine, and Gordon. Got a couple of notes. If you're on the call, let me know. Would love to say hi to you. Danny's on here, Chris is on here, Cynthia's on here, and John, so thank you for watching. But we are going to be watching in our headlines. If you're just joining me, more rain opportunities exist in the days ahead, including today. It turns much hotter, more humid, and unsettled this weekend. Now, if some of you might be thinking, aren't those the same headlines you used yesterday? They are. But it's funny because we're under the same pattern. These three headlines still apply. So if we've got the flood watch again, I thought I would just repeat the headlines again because it is unsettled this weekend, especially on Saturday. Right now we've got 68 degrees. We have a wind out of the southwest at 5, and the pressure is at 30.06 inches. At 6:55, I'm aiming to head toward 90 by 5 o'clock this afternoon, with a 60% chance of showers and storms. Look for clouds and hazy sunshine. So very thankful for all of you. Cynthia and Darcy's watching. Darcy's on here. She's got a note. I'm looking at my phone. She says, Darcy's watching. She says, good morning. Be safe out there. You have to be, especially when you get torrential amounts of rain and you don't expect it. You know, it's maybe blue sky in the distance, but it's a deluge where you are. You have to figure out if there's water on the roads, it's just better to turn around because it's not easy to navigate through those flooded streets. And we've seen that in the last couple of days in spots. Could be a different spot today. That's something to take note of. I left a 60% chance of rain today and Saturday. Lesser extent. Now, I want to revisit tomorrow because there's still some conflict of what's going to, is it a 30 or 40% chance Thursday, Friday? I do think it's less. I think it's less than what it is today and Saturday, but it will trail off in a big way as Debbie, or what could become Debbie, gets geared up over the Bahamas. It's going to sap a lot of the energy from here, and it's going to be all focused on the coast. Storm Prediction Center, I mentioned the slip and slide. What's going to happen is we're going to see some nasty storms today by the coloring of the Storm Prediction Center around Omaha, Nebraska, where, of course, our Tennessee Vols became national champs. That area is centered. They could have enhanced. That's usually level 3. That's usually power outages, down trees, numerous. The key word, numerous severe storms expected between Des Moines and Omaha, Sioux City. And then it is the slip and slide right through Illinois in yellow, right down Indianapolis, and right into Knoxville, slides into home plate. You like my baseball analogy. From Omaha to Knoxville. And it may even work its way all the way down to Atlanta and Charlotte today for the isolated severe storms. So that's my best analogy I can give you today is the slip and slide and maybe sliding into home plate, because as we slide into Knoxville, we are also under a scattered severe storm risk. That means damaging wind possibility in addition to torrential rain, and anybody in yellow is fair game for some nasty storms today and tonight. I think it's lesser tonight. I think tonight it just drops off. So again, much like last night, it kind of came to an end. I think, we had a severe thunderstorm watch, correct me if I'm wrong. It went to 9 o'clock, but they pulled the plug at 6 for Knoxville. And by 6:30, it had vacated all of East Tennessee. So we had a severe thunderstorm watch till 9. I said during my live stream, I was on for more than 2.5 hours yesterday, if you count my morning video, live stream, and then my hour and 10 minutes during the afternoon. I did another half hour, hour or so on the evening. I kept saying, 9 o'clock seems a bit long to me. And it did. They pulled the plug around 6 o'clock in the evening. And it may be that situation again tonight. That's my expectation. Don't expect the rain to continue like all night long, although we had a little impulse in the overnight as well. Most of the severe storms on Thursday will be centered in Indiana. You can see that there, and you can see there's a possibility our beaches, our friends who might be headed to Myrtle Beach or Wrightsville Beach, the Outer Banks have some isolated severe storms there. But tomorrow into Thursday, it may be just general thunderstorms. Better bet will be north and east. By Friday, we're all covered in green, meaning isolated severe storms will be possible at least the next couple of days. So be mindful that when it rains, it pours, and wind damage may also be part of the equation. Here's the future cast. Look how the rain just develops, right? There's 8 o'clock. It kind of dances in place. But then by the time we get to about 5, notice how it begins to fade away. Maybe a stray shower, but most of it starts to fade up toward Kentucky, and then we'll redo it again on Thursday. It's a very unsettled pattern, and it's a pattern that may just, again, shuffle the deck, because you can pick any community and say, am I going to get as much rain as my neighbor? We just don't know. It's one of those situations with a typical summer pattern. Anything is possible. But Saturday, with the approaching front, this is why I'm back to 60%. I think Saturday's more unsettled versus Sunday. By Sunday, things will be calming down and certainly drying out on Monday. It is now 6:59. Pick out your favorite town. Could we see some rain? This is a different solution. This is, in fact, a different model. So it has a different opinion. And like asking a doctor for a second opinion, get a second opinion on the modeling. It shows a nasty storm around Maryville at 2 o'clock today. It puts some nasty storms north of Greenville at 2 o'clock today. Will that verify? We'll have to wait and see, but it is in the offering, and you can see by 5 o'clock we're around 90 in the heart of the valley as far as high temperatures are concerned. 8 o'clock tonight, it's quiet, And even by 11 o'clock, the nastiest of storms are in West Virginia and Virginia. As you can see, there might be a stray shower on this model, but I think, again, it might be overstated, as a lot of these impulses are predicated or dependent on the one that led before it. So it's like it's a set of dominoes, trying to line them all up and hoping that they all fall into place. Here's your forecast for 7 o'clock. 90 degrees, clouds, hazy sun, showers and storms, about a 60% chance, winds 3 to 8. Today I'm looking for a high of 90 in Oak Ridge, 89 in Morristown, 88 in Middlesboro. Looking for a high, if you're traveling, to about 93 for Atlanta, 95 for Charlotte. If you're headed north to Lexington, about 89 degrees. And tonight, partly cloudy. I think most of the night is quiet. It's calm. It's good sleeping weather. But there could still be a stray shower or two that develops throughout the night. Tonight, we're down to 73. It's icky. It's sticky. It's warmer tonight than it is right now. 74 for a low in Oak Ridge, Maryville, Alcoa, 74 Sevierville. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. I told you it'd get hotter with the less opportunities for rain. 94 tomorrow, 94 on Friday. That's still about 3 degrees shy of where, well, I guess 4 degrees shy of the hottest day of the year, because we've been up as high as 98, but I have us back to 96 next Tuesday. So think about that. Even though the rain ends, yeah, it's going to get hot like a firecracker, so maybe many folks will head back to the neighborhood pool, as some kids will be heading back to school. Maybe they're hanging out at the neighborhood pool after school. I guess that's kind of how it all tends to work itself out. I want to say thank you for being here. As I'm looking at some of your comments on my phone, I'm working out the kinks of my software, so otherwise I would have had your name up on the screen today. But note that it does get hotter. This is the trend. As my premium members know, we are going to be getting a lot hotter before it gets a little bit cooler. Clearly in August, things can change. By the way, if you haven't downloaded the free, and I say free, Captain Accurate Weather Authority app with Pete Michaels Traffic. You get both. You get all the National Weather Service alerts plus 3 extras plus lightning alerts. This is key, especially if you're under a flash flood warning. You don't want to have to be reading about that on social media. I love social media, but you need something that's timely. And if you're reading a post that's 3 days old, what good is it, right? If you're reading about, oh, I was under a, I didn't know that. You know, that's the worst place to be. So if you download the free app, go to the App Store, Google Play, you'll get the alerts in real time, plus 3 extras, plus the lightning alerts. And also, if you are interested in premium, it's only $4.99 a month. You get forecasts that go beyond expectations, beyond 7 days. We focus on that, usually 2 weeks to 30 days into the future. That's why my premium members are not as surprised as some might be. You go, I didn't know it was going to get so hot. Yeah, first to every forecast you get to see. You also get more Facebook Lives, typically on a Sunday, to help you plan ahead. You also get fewer ads on premium, but that factors out to 16 cents a day. That's $4.99. In my opinion, it's the best East Tennessee weather bargain you could subscribe to, so you can get the information. You can basically, it's like having a meteorologist. I think Diane Bobinski, when she said Lady Hawk, she said, it's like having a meteorologist in my back pocket. Pull out my phone, and I get all the information at my fingertips. It's one way to look at it. Anyway, I'm here to serve you any way I can. My name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time, and don't forget the umbrella. We'll see you here soon.